Hi, I'm Brendan from Luxury Pergola. We have Mr. Rich Osborne, who has been working with us for a little bit on his project. He decided to spend some time with us to discuss the project, so we appreciate him being here. Rich, how are you?
I'm good. Good. You?
Doing well. So you had a pretty unique project. What led you to consider the Luxury Pergola over some of the other options out there?
Like everybody, I went online and researched pergolas and uh and landed on yours. Looked at everything and actually landed on three different companies. But I traveled probably 3 hours, two different times to go look at somebody's pergola, and just looking at yours online, could see the difference in mass of the unit and how it went together. And because mine's unique, there was certain things that I was looking for to be able to do what I wanted to do, and your guys is definitely fit the bill.
Good. So when you were kind of comparing and contrasting, you mentioned the weight. Was there anything else that kind of stood out to you with ours versus some of the other stuff out there?
Yeah, a couple big things. The gutter system, the drops. Who wants to see an ugly gutter drop on the outside of their post? Your guys's drains down through the center of a post, completely hidden. You have no idea it's even there. The ones that I looked at, I would have had to had three or four drops. Just imagine the gutter drop on the side of your house, right on the side of your brand new pergola. Your guys is hidden.
Good. Well, we talked about weight briefly. We say on our website, hey, it's going to be, 1,800 pounds for a big one. What's it like reading 1,800 pounds and actually feeling that kind of weight when it shows up to your door?
Yeah. I thought I was going to build the whole outside frame and then put it up on the post using four guys, and that didn't happen. It took four guys to put the two beams that we mounted together to put up there.
Yeah.
Just two side by side, 20-foot beam. It is ridiculously heavy.
Yeah. So you had some unique angles and need some extra parts, and you actually fabricated your own parts to kind of make that happen. Is that accurate?
That is 100% accurate. Sorry, my phone's going crazy on me here. Um, well, from start to finish, what was nice is, and I put my trust in you guys, and you guys jumped out and did exactly what you said. There was, we basically fabricated something that was completely different. You helped me just get just enough pieces to be able to make that happen. And we when you're doing the math, sometimes not everything gets put in the box. I got what I got. I signed for everything, and I called you up and said, "Hey, I still need 25 more of these clips. I needed two more bags of screws," and they were there overnight.
Yeah.
You guys did what you said you were going to do, and I truly appreciate that. But not always does everything come as you expect. But by the same token, you guys make it right without any question. There was no questions asked.
Good. Yeah, and that's what we strive for. And yeah, everybody's human. Sometimes we make mistakes, but I'm glad we were able to fix this for you pretty quickly.
Well, it's kind of hard to say a mistake. I mean, what we did here with mine was it wasn't two of your standard units that you guys have all boxed up ready to go. We were kind of trying to somewhat guess at a few things that the way it was going to come out, and you guys, like I said, it worked out good, and everything came out nice. Now, the other thing that I will say is the for someone that's doing a DIY, the other two pergolas systems that I was looking at were not DIY.
Yeah.
You were fabricating things on the fly. When
Yep.
when you say DIY, all the holes are drilled 100% in the right spot. There was not one time where something didn't line up. Everything went together really quickly. My angle area is what took forever to get that fabricated and put up. But if you're going to get a 10 by 20 or a 10 by 10, just about anybody out there could easily go put that together. With the videos that you guys have set up, I watched them 10 times. If I'd have had the pergola first, I'd have watched them once and went and done it.
Yeah.
I overkilled myself. It's just that easy.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear it. And you had an interesting situation where you tested the durability of the pergola, and
I'd like to
and it
say that
was
was somebody else tested the durability of it, but it was in
yeah.
fact me. Yes, there was a target in my pond that I didn't want in my pond, and I was aiming over top of the pergola, and I learned a very good lesson. Your scope height and the barrel height are two different heights. I had a 270 high power rifle 20 foot away, and that doggone bullet did not make it through your metal. Your metal is heavy enough. It got through one side. We're talking a 270 high power rifle at 20 feet point blank range. Couldn't get through
Yeah.
your material.
So it's not bulletproof, but kind of bullet resistant, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
It did get through
Luckily, it
one
only
wall.
hit two. Luckily, it hit two louvers, and the area on the louvers. It was going through the. It wasn't going through the meat of the louver. It was
Yeah.
going through one edge of it. But when it got to the beam, it got through one wall, but it didn't get through the other.
Yeah. That
So
was
I learned a lesson there, and then the other thing that comes out of the same lesson is the fact that if there is a problem with it, you can change parts.
yeah. So if there are any customers out there that accidentally shoot their pergola, we can replace some parts.
Lordy.
That was quite a
Yes,
call. I never heard of that
yes.
before, so that was fun.
I thought you guys would enjoy that, and I needed two more louvers. So.
Yeah. It's not going to be waterproof with those holes in them.
Yeah, well, I'm never shooting over the pergola again.
No.
That was a
Um,
costly error on my part.
so with your pergola, have you entertained under it, shown it to people? What's been kind of the impression?
Yeah, let me take a step back and tell you, I missed a little portion of the story. I
Oh yeah.
I I actually did a concrete pad out back that we were going to put a burn pit in and all that stuff. And what I was really initially looking for was just one of those. Uh, it's a roof, a canopy roof thing that just rolls itself back up, almost like on the side of a, a camper that some people have. I was looking for one of those in the beginning, and the guy that poured the concrete says, "Oh, you got to go look at one of these pergolas where the roof opens and shuts on its own," and that started the whole thing. So from the time that I poured my concrete and that guy said that was 4 weeks later, I was ordering from you.
Oh wow. That's that's great. It's quite a vote of confidence considering you'd never seen one, in person.
Well, I did drive to Pittsburgh to see those other companies.
Yeah.
But once I seen the other companies and looked at yours and the beefiness of yours and the gutter system that's on yours, the fact that the louvers interlock to the way they interlock, the opening and shutting of it, there was just so much that I'd seen enough online that that's what I wanted to do. And your bronze color, you guys sent me samples to the house for me to be able to look at of the material. So I did get to see how beefy the beam was, but the color matched my house.
Perfect.
It was almost I had to do it.
They like to make it easy, and those samples seem to be pretty popular, so people can actually touch and feel it instead of
Yeah.
just taking our word for it online.
Yes, yes. And then, again, you were able to send me some stuff early for me to start fabricating and getting some stuff going. And it's just been a good relationship the whole way through.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. You mind if we show some pictures of the build that you've sent me?
Yeah, no, yeah, share whatever you want to share.
Okay. So with our unit,
Well, I work for a family-owned business. I'm an independent contractor, but work with a family-owned business. I hold that really high up.
yep.
Made in America. We sell the same thing with our product and talk about that a lot. I think the family-owned side of it and the fact that you guys are working with your dad and you guys developed it and did it all on your own, and you're bringing up the next side of it with your family is probably the bigger thing that got me going. But I mean, to be honest with you, the quality of the build and the fact that you guys had everything so DIY
Mm.
really should seal it for everybody. The DIY side of it is the most important thing for anybody, because at the end of the day, not everybody has the fabrication ability that I could go to my son and do some of the things that I got pulled off.
Yeah.
The ability to just literally unbox something and the holes are pre-drilled. There's nothing that you guys left something for anybody to figure out on their own. It's 100% ready to go. So if anybody's looking to do a pergola and they're going to do it themselves, which I highly recommend, because if you pay somebody, it's going to get ridiculous. With those other companies, I got a quote for those guys to come do it, and I was doubling the price on my pergola. So,
Wow.
doing it myself and the DIY side, there's people should just look nowhere else.
So we talk about, DIY pergolas and DIY stuff. How is this as like a DIY product compared to other DIY products so far as, quality, durability, that kind of thing? Is it similar, different? What's your experience?
If you're talking durability, I shot a 270 bullet through the thing. I mean,
You're not gonna find that at Home Depot, right?
I was flabbergasted that it didn't come out the other side.
Yeah.
So durability is, I mean, there's nothing else. Okay. So there was another issue, another thing that one of the other companies did have the ability to do the angled area that I did. They had a
Yeah.
little bearing system, but the quality of how that was going to work in my mind, with my background that I see things, I couldn't see that it was going to last. So the way that you guys have it set up, where there's very little workable parts or wearable parts, was another issue, another thing that I looked at. The other companies, not only did their gutter systems, it was right out where it was on the outside of their posts, but their wearable areas were things that I just wasn't interested in. I
Yeah.
mean, you start putting a bearing on a unit that's in the weather outside, that's taking on moisture all the time, expansion, contraction. Why would you do that? Your end caps that are on the end of the louvers, with the painted coating that you put on there, that's going to stay durable, that works itself into a U slot that has nothing that can go wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, if people are looking at the mechanics of your unit, not then take away the whole side of it that's DIY.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can go wrong. Okay, so you got a motor on it, that if something would ever go wrong with a motor down the road, the motor's easily unbolted and another one put right back on. The
Yeah.
connecting areas are weatherproof and able to be changed. Any operational area, which really boils down to just your motor on there, is the only thing that could ever have a problem.
Yeah.
It seems pretty easy.
Yeah. And you come from more of a kind of an engineering background, so it was cool to see, one, your response to it. I'm glad you enjoyed the product, and two, the kind of cool stuff you did with it, because I've never seen a homeowner do that. One, make that angle and make your own parts for it. That was really cool to see come together.
Well, I appreciate all the extra that you guys encouraged me along the way, and you never told me I'm crazy, I should never try to do this. You encouraged me to do what I can do, and instead of trying to tell me that it was going to be tough. So I do appreciate that. But I'll tell you what, it did challenge me a little bit a few times.
It looked challenging. You're sending me pictures in the middle of the build, and I'd be scared to do some of that stuff. And I've built all kinds of shapes and sizes, but that was a difficult one, especially get the brackets you made lined up on that 45-degree angle with the double centers. That has to be spot on, like exactly spot on, and that's hard to do.
Well, I found that out. Yeah. Yeah, definitely needs to be, but it works. I mean, every single time. The thing just works the way it's supposed to, and it works. We're gonna put, like I told you, what we're doing now is we put a burn pit back there. We got a bench that we put in. The next step is we're putting a projector screen down there and a projector, and we're gonna sit out there and have movie night in the evenings.
Oh, that'll
up
be
out there
nice.
and get the grandkids over and have some nice cookouts and stuff. So yeah, it's going to definitely get used.
Yeah. So with have you had any crazy storms or anything just to see if it can actually handle the wind ratings we talk about?
Oh, there ain't no storm kicking that thing down. Yeah, no, we've had some heavy winds, but
Yeah.
no big snow load yet. But just in case in the wintertime, I'm probably just going to leave it open. But
Okay.
I'll tell you what, the weight coming down on that thing, and the way it's beamed out to where it's delivering the weight across the whole area.
Mhm.
There's no way that thing's coming down.
Yeah.
If anybody thinks this thing is not the real deal, when they get that box and they're unloading them boxes out of that back of that truck, they'll figure out pretty quick it's the real deal.
Yeah. We
That's
get
a
that some.
workout moving the beams.
Yeah, I'm a pretty like I'm not a small guy and I need a second person to help carry some of those beams because
Yeah.
it's heavy and it's unwieldy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I told you whenever I called you the first time after we got it and we started setting it up, that thing's a whole lot heavier than I anticipated. I mean,
Yeah.
you see it on the videos and stuff, and you guys are doing it, but you guys do it all the time. You
Yeah.
you get that thing and you go to do it. You when you say you need to have a couple of guys that can lift it. There's some weight when you're climbing up those ladders and putting those things up there. It's
Yep.
it's beefy.
Yeah. So compared, this to other pergola kits on the market, are they close in the same league, interchangeable?
I I haven't the only other two I looked at three other pergolas. The one was I don't know whatever the company is that likes that pergola really well, and it's like 80 or $90,000 for what I
Oh
would have
yeah.
done. I forget what the name of that company is. I mean, it's a nice looking pergola too, but holy mackerel, the price. And it still has some fabrication that you have to do on them. Oh, the other thing that I did do, just to put a little bit into this, is I called three or four of those companies and got their installers on the
Hmm.
phone and called and talked to them. And a lot of them were telling me that this is not a DIY pergola. That
Yeah.
actually, to tell you the truth, two of the guys from the competition told me to call you guys, which I
Oh
had
wow.
already done. But yeah, so they told me if you want a true DIY, this is the one you need to go to. Because the other ones, there's just too much fabrication and stuff.
Yeah. So with ours and our quality compared to the 80 or $90,000 one, what would you say the comparison would be like?
Well, I don't know if those other ones are any beefier than
Yeah.
what you guys have. I mean, as far as heaviness of material, I do believe that your guys' was by far the heaviest of the ones that I actually looked at. Uh,
Yeah.
Aesthetically, when you put in the whole gutter system and the way it's put together and all that, it just looks super clean. The other ones didn't have all that. So when you're looking at fit and finish, you're looking at fabrication time, you're looking at DIY. There's just no reason to go anywhere else.
Yeah, that was our goal when making it. Is we wanted to have the same, quality and standards as the 80 or $90,000 one, and offer it at a much much better price. So, sounds like
Yeah,
that's what your experience was like.
yeah. Well, okay. So the one thing that I have, it's been a while since I looked at that 80 or $90,000 one. But the one thing that people really need to look at if they're gonna go away from the luxury pergola, they need to look at the design of the louvers. The
Yep.
design of the louvers is significantly different in how the strength and how it's put together, how you guys have it extruded the
Yep.
whole way through with the interlocking lip and the weather stripping that takes away the clank sound every time things come together. And obviously, you know as well as I do is those interlocks aren't interlocking at the same time on every single one. So you get
Yeah.
clunk, 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 clunk. It's rumbling a little bit when those things are put together when they don't have the extras that you guys put in. But there's a significant difference in the overall thickness and design of the louvers themselves between
Yeah.
the different companies. So a lot of people may not get in depth as I did to looking at all the stuff. I mean, you
Yeah.
even shared some of your drawings with me,
Yeah.
to allow me to do some of the things that I did. And you know, if you just look at some of that stuff and you look at the way the things are put together, the people would see that there is a significant difference, not just in the beam system, not just into the posts, the way that you guys design the base of the post. You know, a lot of these companies, their post base that goes up inside only goes up inside 6, 8 inches, 10
Yeah.
inches. Yours goes up significantly more than that. So it's not just the overall aesthetic look and it looks beefy and heavy. I mean, those doggone inserts that you're bolting down to the floor before you put the post on are heavy as crap.
Yeah.
Those things aren't light.
No.
So it's thick the whole way. It's thick the whole way around. It's not just one portion of it. You guys didn't just say, let me make this being strong for the things that the people are picking up and seeing and what's in front of them. It's beefy and strong the whole way around.
Yeah. And to kind of caveat with the louver design, there are a lot of, different extruded louvers out there, but two of them is going to be the design, as you said, like that, the flat bottom with the arched top gives it a lot of extra strength. The thickness is one of the big differences that you'll see on our louver versus the others. And the main benefit there is it's not going to sag when you cover 12 feet. Whereas if it is sagging, you get a wind load, it starts to chatter. So yeah, that was, we went through a lot of iterations to try to make sure that, it was as strong as possible and it was quiet when it worked and then wouldn't chatter on you in the wind.
Yeah. So another thing that I don't remember with the other louvers was the relief V groove that you put in the
Yeah.
center of it to give it a little bit different of a aesthetic look from the bottom.
Yep.
The other ones are flat the whole way across. I don't know. I don't know if that gives you any value in your. Sometimes when you put those V grooves in there, it gives you some strength value and some reinforcement value in there. But the aesthetic look of it is really a lot different than what some of those other louvers had.
Yeah, we wanted it to look kind of like a tongue and groove ceiling. So that's why we put
Yeah.
that in there. Just because if you have ours is an 8-inch louver, so you have an 8-inch, flat piece, it can look kind of bland. So that, my dad pushed hard for the V groove. So that's why we have that in there.
Yeah, we still have to put the lights up in it. We did buy some LED light strings that we got to run through there, and it just started getting too cold, so I gave up for a little bit. But we're gonna get that done, and we did also buy a nice friggin' golf simulator that we're gonna set up in there on the summer times, and the guys are gonna stay out there and we're gonna golf it through the evenings and stuff. So it's gonna duplicate as a simulator here pretty soon.
Oh, that'll be nice. Yeah. So with this, I guess kind of a layup after this whole, interview. Would you recommend the Luxury Pergola to other people?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. There's no, I wouldn't even recommend those guys going over and taking a look at the other ones. You can see enough looking right online. There's enough pictures and things to show you how to do the stuff with some of those other ones that if they start looking at the difference between your videos and the other ones, there's just no reason to go anywhere else.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. So with as a thank you, we have your link in the description. That's an affiliate link, just kind of as a thank you to you. And then if anybody who's buying this was compelled by Rich's experience, you can use that link and you'll get a discount on your product. So again, that'll be in the description. But thank you for taking the time, Rich. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to kind of seeing more of how you use it in the future, and that golf simulator will be really cool too.
Oh yeah. You have a good one. You have a good weekend.
Thank you, you too. See you.